The most successful project that I sold would be the one that I closed last year. We sold it for $1.2 million. The average price sellout for the building was 16 million. All my parents said, listen, college is not for me. They were very unhappy.
Yes,
I did break up,
understand.
their heart.
Just tell
at
me
the
what
moment.
to do.
My dad, he came to me, was like, listen, I'm gonna get you working for me. I was like, okay, let's go. I didn't know who my dad was until I started working with him, But he also was very harsh with us. Very dictator, I would say. Sometimes I thought we were in a prison.
So, Mo, what business or businesses do you run?
So I'm in the real estate business and in the car business also. So we run a dealership there in Germany, in Frankfurt, and we export cars to Morocco. So what we do is we sell brand new cars, 0 kilometers. We export them to Tangiers, like on a weekly basis. So we have a great clientele, like a large basis. And we send like 10 to 15 cars a week. I've been doing that for 1.5 years, and it's been great. I own 60 rental apartments in Melilla, which is a city here in Spain. Plus, I administrate 136 apartments of the owners, which I rent them on a daily basis through Airbnb and Booking, and some of them are long-term rentals. It's good. It's busy. I would say I'm busy Monday through Sunday every week. If I have a day off, I would say it's a miracle, to be honest.
Tell me the secret behind sales in property. How did you learn it? And walk me through a bit about that.
Okay, so I would love to say that my father showed me the sales business, but I learned it by myself because there's a cultural barrier between me and my dad, which I have to be quite honest, I learned everything from him. But on the technical level, I learned sales by myself and also learning from some other older people, I would say.
In the field, you learn it by doing it.
Yeah, on the field. One thing I would say that was very helpful for me, I was an open book to all of my clients. It was for me very easy to get their attention, to get them to acquire my services without me offering them. I don't expect anything from you at any given moment. If I speak to your client, it's because, this is me. People, I think they tend to notice that, and they tend to rely on saying, okay, this guy is a good lad.
What's kind of the property deal that you're the most proud of?
The most successful project that I sold would be the one that I closed last year with a developing construction company. Because, I sold the plot. I got them the licenses in I would say a record time, Yeah. Especially here in Spain, licenses take between 6 months to 1.5 years. I got them the license in 4 months, right, with my contact. And I also, gained their trust that they let me sell like 50% of the properties. That was a win-win-win for me. We sold it for $1.2 million, and the average price sellout for the building was 16 million. So I made something for myself, I guess. I knew in myself that I was gonna close like a big deal in the near future because I was working, I was hustling every day, Monday through Sunday, meeting clients, flying out to Holland, flying out to Germany, selling off planned projects, renting out, to important people. I fucking knew that something was gonna come. It was just around the corner. I just had to be steady, and at the right moment,
In the property business, what is the thing that you love the most?
Nowadays, I would say the best feeling I have is when a client, comes to see a property with me and texts me or calls me in the nighttime, saying, "Listen, we are gonna meet you at the listing price. Prepare a contract." That's the best feeling for me. It's not even the money. It's not even the commission. I don't even know how much I'm getting paid until I sign the contract. Just imagine. That's one of the main reasons I got to this point where I am, which is being successful. Is when I started, I wasn't looking to make a huge amount of money. My main concentration was to get deals done bit by bit, and this is how I got to this point. It wasn't about hitting 100K per month or hitting $1 million a year. It wasn't that. I was focusing on closing deals, making very good relationships, banks, developers, clients that buy, like every month and so on. I understood and said to myself, listen, just focus on this stuff. Money will come, and it did come in large quantities. This is why people don't stick around. Especially in this sector, people don't see no profit in the first months, maybe on the first year, and they think this is not for them. Money doesn't come on their first months, on their first year. It comes later. but it doesn't come bit by bit. It comes like in large quantities, you know? This is what happened for me. My first year, total loss. Full year, 12 months, no profit. I had, you know, to pay my gas, eat, pay my rent, whatever, but no profit. Second, I was making like 15, 25K per month after having a total loss year. Deep down, I knew, and I did not give up in any moment, you know? In any moment, I knew that was gonna come around, you know?
So what were you like when you were growing up? What did people misunderstand about you? Like, who were you as a person when you grew up?
Jordan knows me very well. I was a very happy kid. I had no problems with nobody. I would say I was always very humble, very kind to people. You know, I'm very grateful also, and have to be thankful for my parents. Now, we had everything when we were young, you know. Now we had cars, homes, food was good. You know, we had everything. Our parents instilled in us to be very humble, to be hustling. You have to go after certain stuff in life. My dad, he did it the right way because he was well off, but somehow he managed. I don't know if it's within his cultural, mental state, because he comes from Morocco. He comes from nothing, to be honest. He worked all his way up throughout all his life. I understand that. I think he always wanted to instill that on us. He used to say to us, even though I'm rich, doesn't mean you guys are rich. You guys have to work for your own stuff. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna, you know, be there with you, holding your hands, he'd say. But he also was very harsh with us. Very dictator, I would say. Sometimes I would speak with my younger brother. I was like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? Maybe we would want to go maybe here on a 3-day full vacation, you know, paid by him, because obviously he's our dad, whatever. And he was like, what did you guys do to earn this kind of, you know, trip paid by me? And we were like, okay, you're my dad, we want to have fun, whatever. You know, now I just laugh at it. Now I'm like, okay, my dad was right. We didn't do nothing to earn it. And he wanted to let us know vocally, because my dad was very vocal, you know, very vocal, very mean also. That's why I'm also sometimes very harsh with people, very harsh with clients also, because, you know, I got that from my father. He was expecting us to be the highest entrepreneurs by 18, 19. I was like, I can't do it yet, it's gonna take some time, but he was expecting too much of us.
And how would he say it? How would he communicate that expectation?
He was very harsh, insulting all the time. We would understand completely what he's saying, you know. He was very, very demanding and very tough. I mean, I understand, you know. He came from nothing, right from the village, migrated to Spain, then migrated to Holland. It took him about 45 years of age to get where he is, you know. And right now he's well off. He's very well off, to be honest. I have to give it to him. I don't regret the education he gave us. You know, sometimes I was like, okay, I think you're crossing a bit the line. But now that I'm here, you know, living a great life, a successful life, I understand that he was right. Parents are right, like most of the time. Yeah.
But was there a period in life, whether it was when you were younger or the teens, where things weren't as bright or positive?
When I was 18, okay, I went to college. I went to a private school. The school was great, okay, but somehow I don't know, I wasn't happy at all. There was something in me that I was not comfortable. There was a lot of entitled people, spoiled people around me. Education from teachers was BS. You can tell from the start that you're not going to gain nothing from them. I know I had to be very humble and very grateful to be where I am, but I knew for a fact that I was not going to spend 4 or 5 years of my life doing this. I completed my first year, made my parents happy, but my second year I went back, you know. But it just clicked on me. My second year, it was October. I was like, we were like 2 weeks in. I was like, this is not for me. I just grabbed my and left. I was like, thank you very much, but this is not for me. Called my parents, said, listen, college is not for me. They were very unhappy because they thought, I was going to be maybe some kind of lawyer, some kind of, you know, businessman throughout college. I did break up, you know, their heart at the moment. You know, my dad was a bit, you know, he was fed up, but he was understanding. So he was like, okay, what you want to do? Because you have to do something. You're young, you're strong, you have energy, this is the moment. Went back to my mom's home here in Belmarina. Spent there 4 months. It was when COVID happened. So, okay, it was good for me. Okay, I was in my mom's home. I wasn't doing too much. But when the summer kicked in, my dad, he came to me, was like, listen, I'm going to get you working for me. I was like, okay, let's go. This was when I was almost 20 years of age. I didn't know who my dad was until I went with him and start working with him. I didn't get to know my dad fully until I was 20 years of age. It's like sometimes people don't know really their parents. You really have to create some kind of bond and mature relationship. And this is what happened. This was very good for me because I got to learn a lot of stuff.
So would you say that from the college years to then living with your mom and then your dad recruiting you basically to his company, would you say that that college years was kind of the downtime where you were kind of the low rock bottom, and then getting that experience at the dad's company was the flip?
Yes. Went to my mom's house, had nothing going for me, no money, no job, no education, no new learning stuff, no skills, nothing. I was depressed, but I knew in my head that I had to, start hustling, start learning. I knew deep down, it wasn't like I was depressed and I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just hope someone comes, and I'll wait for that job to come. I knew where I was, I knew where I had to go. One of the first things I did was I had to cut all the BS. Friends out. They were no good for me, especially the wrong friends. You're better off by yourself than with the wrong company. I started working out 7 times a week, every day. And I just had to take the decision to go to work for my dad, especially for free, and especially to a city that I didn't know. For me, it was like that, I'm going to a different city. I don't know the people. I don't know the education that they have. I don't even know if they speak the same language as I am, because in that city, they speak a different language. And it was brand new for me, but I understood that I had to be there to get out of my situation, to get better. And on top of that, I had my father. He was all the way through. I had to be up with him. He was expecting a lot of good work from me, so somehow I managed to understand, listen, this is expected from me. I have to comply with this, That's what it changed.
How does someone get started like this? Right? If you want to invest in property, you want to buy property, what are the steps?
Oh, here in Spain, I don't know about other countries, I guess it's the same in every country. You guys have to have some kind of great income, like a steady, good income a month, okay? The way I worked it out to buy properties, let's say, you guys need some kind of passive income. The way that I gained passive income, was subleasing properties like this, like 100 plus meter square home, 2-bedroom, subleasing from the owner and renting it out for more, okay? This is how I got my passive income. So I have a couple of these here in Spain, and this allowed me, to showcase the banks, the people that we have to all work with to, develop or either buy a property. And once they see, the passive income, the steady income that you have all throughout the year, because it's a 2-year, I would say it would be like a 1 year or 2 year plan.
History. You need that history to go to the bank and say,
exactly.
This is my history, it's 2 years.
Exactly, it's 2 years of history. This is what I have. I need, X amount of money to buy this property. This is, for me, the best way and the way that's worked best for me. It's risky, yes, but if you are a hustler and you know for a fact that you're not going to fail, it's going to work out. So for example, in your case, you guys are new to the real estate business, new into buying properties, okay?
Yeah.
But you guys already have a business going on. You guys already have some kind of income coming in. You guys, you have at least 1 year and a half, 2 years of history, right? You guys already, almost half through. So, in my opinion, you guys should start with one property, okay? You guys, let's say we look into a 550,000 euro property. You want to think that you need a 20% entry deposit, right? You don't. We can get that 20% down to 5%.
How?
What helped me got me from 20% to 5% and even less was I used to bring clients that used to buy properties with mortgages. So I used to bring those clients to those same banks that I worked with. So I gained also their confidence.
Smart.
They were like, okay, this guy is bringing all this kind of clients. We're selling our products, which are mortgages. We're making a ton of money. He's making a ton of money. All right, he's our boy.
The secret to get deposit, I would say, is to make the bank like you by bringing them clients,
Exactly. You have to be good. They're gonna be good with you if you're good with them.
And people usually ask, should you live in the property? Should you own the property that you live in? What's your take on that?
Okay, for example, I have so many clients that they bought off-plan projects from me year round, and they don't even live here. They live back in Norway, back in Sweden. they only come for the summer. They only come 2 months or 3 months a year. Some people come weeks, you know. They bought like a 500K apartment and they only been there like for 7 days total in the past year. So it's crazy. Answering your question, okay, yes, you can live in it, but you have to, you know, find somehow to get also, you know, ROI on it, you know. You don't want a house or a property to be a cost for you. This is my honest opinion. You guys don't have to agree, but buying a property, it's either, you know, to get benefit from it. If you guys live in it and have no benefit from it, it's like it's a bad investment. Even if you sell it in the future for 20% more, 30% more, it's still not a good investment. You guys have to make money from the day you acquire it.
Yeah. Let's wrap up by talking about, if someone wants to get into property investing, like how much can you actually make property investing? Like if you start with 1 property and then 2 and then 3, stack them on.
Yeah.
In a few years from now, if you started today, what is the potential of earnings?
The max you can make on a property, which it would be 25% a year. But this is, you know, using different strategies and techniques. You know, the average percent of ROI on the property is 10%. You know, when you fly on another level, when you work with certain people, you can get that to up to 25%. 4 years, you can get the property paid down.
Wow.
In 4 years, you know, it usually takes between 10 and 20. 10 and 20. In 4 years, you can get your money back. You guys have to understand all this. This is like a long play. This is not about making money next year. This is about making money throughout 5 to 10 years. This is the real estate industry, I would say. You guys are for the long haul. You guys are going to make money. Yes, you might make money next year, in the second year, but you have to understand that your guys are going to make great money on the upcoming 10 years.
Yep.
This is how the big people did it, you know?
To wrap this up, what would you say is the best piece of advice you've ever received throughout your life?
I would say the best advice is never leave money on the table. If someone comes with an offer, and it doesn't like matches, you know, the listing price or the price that you want to sell it, never be disrespectful to them, okay? Because it happened to me once, you know. I had a property, listing price 125, 6 months selling it. You know, this guy came in the first month of selling the house at 1.1, 150. He was short, okay? Yeah. I was like, listen, this is the minimum I'm accepting. I was 6 months working the house and it did not sell for the listing price. You know, sometimes you have to be understanding and know the market very well and never leave money on the table. You understand? Yeah. That would be my best advice.
Mo, your advice has been pure gold, especially for guys that are looking to get into the real estate and surely viewers as well. We thank you so much for the time. Our equipment is running out of energy.
I know.
Thank you very much, Mo.
See you soon.